In the next section, where we continue with appropriate techniques in conflict management, our focus really here is the different stages of conflict. Kind of pointers that we need to look at when we look at this is we need to understand that conflict is a process. Each stage is an evolvement over a protracted period of time. Conflict can be mapped and tracked to ascertain progress or lack of it. Such conflict cycles indicate where the conflict has been, its current status, and its future. This helps in understanding conflict from a holistic perspective. We're going to look at latent conflict. This latent base is described by the dormant issues existing between individuals or groups or organizations when it comes to in the context of conflict. Such issues may not be enough to raise a point of conflict worth contending. So in other words, it's kind of simmering just under the surface. Such conflict is not worth escalating. It means it doesn't draw enough attention to turn into a process which will be required for conflict. Conflict has not surfaced publicly. It means it's there, but it's not there. Visibly, it's not there. There's no tangibility for us to engage in a conflict process that will result in a conflict resolution. But there's no denial, it's there. It's in the underlying theme of a potential eruption of a conflict. The next one will be emergence. When we talk about emergence, we're talking about a stage where one begins to notice conflict. So in other words, it's beginning to be visible and kind of tangible that it attracts someone's attention. It's a manifestation of a latent conflict that was initially suppressed, but has now come to the surface. At this stage, conflict erupts in a public manner. The next stage we're looking at is escalation. Here, what was once latent, what has become emergent, is now escalated. So in other words, there's increased intensity of the conflict at hand, as well as the severity of tactics that may need to be applied to the conflict. So it's quite severe. Such can result in more attention from the parties involved, where the use of power, influence, and resources may need to be applied to a possible threatening sanction. Then there is the deadlock or the stalemate. This is where we're looking just at the different stages of conflict. When this happens, both parties realize that the possibility of a no-win-win solution. So in other words, we're not willing to engage any further. We actually have stated our positions. There's no congruency. There's no opportunity for common ground to even initiate a further process. And so there's unwillingness to progress. At the same time, not wanting to concede to giving in or backing down. So there's resistance. No one wants to concede. There's pride issues maybe, but we're holding our positions. Parties that may have run out of resources or tactics to their advantages. So if one party runs out of resources or tactics, it may be not willing to engage further in the process. So they back down and it remains a deadlock or a stalemate. They might even give unreasonable concessions should it involve negotiations or even in the parameters of a conflict resolution. Then there is the de-escalation. Let's look at what the de-escalation really is all about. It's characteristic in conflict, winding down and transforming in the nature of the conflict. So there's a change in the initial positions, there's a shift in stance, so it's creating other possible outcomes, but not from the original conflict. It may be influenced by outside forces, a change of perspective, or even time. So there's a need to review possible unrealistic goals for more realistic outcomes. Then there's the resolution itself. Here we're seeking for alternative ways of resolving differences. Could be reduction of grievances as parties look for a resolution perspective. So there's compromise. Eventually resolutions are agreed, and hopefully they're in a win-win outcome perspective. Then this will bring about the collaborative action. Here we're looking at the working together of parties to implement the resolution at hand. So in other words, we frame terms of agreement, terms of how people will move forward in order to make the resolution a reality. It's strengthened by the understanding and effective communication and relationships that develop of the parties involved.